All right, welcome back. We're on to a semifinals match between Lucas and Kim. I'm excited for this one, but before we start it, we're going to get into the intro.
Greetings, old school magic blades, and welcome to the 4 Horsemen.
All right, so we got Lucas on the left and Kim on the right, the City of Brass, play mat. I'm excited for this match. Volcanic and pass. Factory and pass. Underground. And a volcanic. What do we got? Stone. So Kim's ramping up. Lucas has an island out. Ooh. Let's see if you guys can pick the name out of this guy. I never can pronounce him right, but basically he's a royal assassin on steroids. He's brutal. Oh, there's the chain lightning. And attack for 2. So far, Kim has the answers. He missed the land drop, which is not good for him, but we'll see what happens. Oh, a dib. Oh boy. Yeah, that missed land drop might hurt him right now. Oh, I think that's a maze. There's a lot of glare, but I can't tell. It might be a maze of Ith. There's an attack. Yep, that's definitely a maze. Looks like Lucas has a maze of his own. That tells me he has no other lands in hand and no threats in hand. So Kim can just kind of, at the moment, take a few turns to sit back and try and find some more colored mana sources. Because it looks like that's his problem. There's the pass. There's an attack on the maze. That dip is still pinging him off, but Kim definitely needs some mana sources here. He needs colored mana. Chain lightning to the life total. Oh, now Lucas has more mana, so he might be able to play some bigger threats now. There's an attack on a maze. No, he has nothing. Wow. There's another chain to life total, so that's 3 out of 4. He still only has 1 colored mana source. If Lucas finds a strip mine, that's going to be really, really, really bad for Kim. I mean, he does have the stone, but he clearly does not have mana to do anything. He needs at least 1 more, I would think. Now there's... Alright, now Lucas has answers there. I'm going to pause this for 2 seconds and help my son here. Alright, sorry about that. Little guy's a little excited today. Alright, so let's see here. We got a lot of mana now. So he should have fixing everything. He's got black, he's got double black, he's got double blue. You don't need double red. I can't think for anything that normally is played. I wonder what's in his hand. He's got six, I think he still has 6 cards in hand. Can't imagine what the 6 cards are if they're not anything to do with hurting lands. They're not direct damage. I'm not really sure what he has in hand. Is that a falling star? Yeah, it looks like a falling star. So he must have 7 in hand. So it looks like Kim discarded a falling star. Not useful at the moment. Especially when Lucas has a Maze of Ith. Game's pretty stalemated for the most part. It's just waiting for the Dib to kill him, I believe, at this point. That's one of the reasons I actually would love to see 2 strip mines, because I feel like there's so many utility lands in this. But if we allow the Chaos Orb, which I hope they do, at least that'll be an answer. But the Chaos Orbs are going to be used for enchantments and stuff, most likely. I'd really love to know what's in Lucas's hand right now. Looks like he's going to play something after the fact. Oh, he's oobleting. Okay, well, that's a smart move. At least it's not going to kill him. Again, this is Chaos Orb. Would be nice. You could blow up their own oubliette. So Kim could use a Chaos Orb on Lucas's oubliette and basically kill him off with his own Dib. Can't quite tell what that guy is, but I still think Kim is having major colored mana sources issued. But Lucas has, oh, I was going to say, if he has a trike or something, it's still not, he's at the correct mana for 6 now, so I don't really know what's in his hand. It must be all creature control and stuff. Yep, discarding a coffin. Swamp King. There's a remove soul, I'm sure. Yep. Let's see what else we got going on here. Swing for 2 and Maze, I'm sure. Oh, he took it. No, he didn't take it. I thought he touched his dice there for a moment, but I could have been wrong. Technically, if you touch your dice and you change your dice, you've accepted the damage. And in tournaments, you're not supposed to go back. Because people will forget Maze of Its, and they may or may not make a difference. Alright, there's an ATOG. Well, that flash counter is only for instances and interrupts. So that chain lightning's still going to go off. I'm sure it's still life total. Oh, he's shooting the ATOG with it. A little confused about that because Lucas has a Maze of Ith of his own. So I'd almost do it to the life total. Yeah, because even if the ATOG is gone, Swamp King is useless because of Maze of Ith. I mean, it will let Lucas gain a little bit of life if he plays some black spells, which is good. Oh, there's a remove soul for Swamp King. Let's see what else we got going on here. I'm expecting pyrotechnics to go off here, but I haven't seen that many of them. There's a chain lightning. And those are good timing on Lucas's end because the double black, or I'm sorry, double red is not available on Kim's side to send it back. Alright, sorry about the long pause there. We're just going to have an attack and a maze. Like I said, there's no reason for him to block with the Tog. I mean, it does take away Kim's fourth mana source. But I almost would have just let the ATOG go and kept the stone. Because now he's down to 3 mana again. But I don't know what's in his hand either, but based off of everything, it's 4 plus is what I'm expecting in counter spells. There's an Raiders. It's going to gain 1 life because it's a black spell. So we got double attack here. Obviously, we're going to take care of the Swamp King. As you see, eating that Fellwar Stone earlier is not helping keep, because of the ATOG, it's not keeping anything around, but I still think that 4th mana might have been helping him more. I mean, that Swamp King's definitely going to help him out, but technically that is a black spell, so Lucas's Swamp King did gain him a life. We'll see what Lucas draws here. This is where, in my mind, Falling Star would be amazing. So if Lucas casts Falling Star right now, he can tap both of Kim's creatures. And that would be an attack for 4 on his health total because of the Raiders and... Is that Imprison? I think that's the Altered Imprison. It's one of the 4 Horsemen prize pool cards. Definitely a good card. But now Lucas can basically pay mana to make, I'm sure, Swamp King useless. So now Kim is pretty much down a Swamp King. The only thing with them, like you saw in the other match, they are cheap, but they're not good in multiples. Because you have to use the mana, basically, so you have to keep your mana open. So when you have 3 of them, excuse me, you have to keep 3 open. Alright, so that would have been 9 damage to the health total, if I'm counting correctly, that we used to get rid of an ATOG, which hasn't been able to do anything and won't be able to do anything. So I would think that would have been 9 more damage to Kim's health, and I believe if the Maze of Ith thing from earlier, that would have been 11. So that would have been a totally different game at this point. But let's just see how it plays out. My son's excited about this match. He's sitting here playing with his toys, and I think he likes Swamp King. Let's see, what am I looking at here? Looks like we're talking about in prison. But yeah, basically just pay mana and the card's useless. Now Kim's gotta worry. He's gotta deal with something. I'm still wondering what's in his hand. I feel like the 4th mana would have been big because we know he plays a Coffin. So Coffin would have been huge right now. There's attack and the mana pay, so this way Swamp King doesn't do anything. Let's see if Lucas has a direct damage spell. There's an all-out attack. We know we're going to maze the Swamp King. Now here's a trick too. Lucas could have used his own maze to untap his factory. That would have left him with 5 mana and 1 left for Imprison. So if he had anything for 5 mana, he could have played it. Because I think that's the Abyss. Yep, there goes the Raiders. Yep, there's another creature. I'm assuming there's another one in hand. There's an activation and a swing. And the pass. Now his Swamp King should be sacrificed, yep. That Imprison should go in, I think, what do we got here, another one? Nope, Greed. Oh, wow. Okay. That's a little chancy. So now he has the mana for Mirror Universe or something. Looks like he's going to take a damage and suck it to the Abyss. I think that Imprison's a creature enchantment. Yeah, I was going to say, I think that should be gone. It's not a regular enchantment like Oubliette is. Alright, there's an attack. We're going to untap with Maze. But we're still going to get in for 2. Now, technically, Kim does have Greed. But unless he has a way to gain life, I don't know how useful Greed's going to be. Maybe you draw 1 card with it. I mean, that's about the most I would do. Yep, Pyrotechnics to the life total. Alright, so now if we're paying attention to all those chain lightnings, the game would have been over a few turns ago. We would have had, Kim would have had an ATOG, but he would have been forced to play the Abyss anyway. So the game would have filed out where Kim would have been dead a few turns ago, but we're going to see how this one plays out here. I don't think Kim could stop anything. At this point, what's the difference between... I mean, he's going to take 2 damage here. He's going to go down to 1. Actually, no, he's not taking any because of the Swamp King being gone. So the factory is not going to be useful right now. So this gives Kim a chance to get back. At this point, when you're at 3 life, I'd almost just draw the extra card and go to 1. How did we gain? Yeah, I was going to say, I was a little confused there. I wonder if they forgot the life total for Abyss? I'm not sure what happened there, but that was long gone and long over. If they both forgot it, they both forgot it, but... Alright, well there's a Greed. That's a little more useful on Lucas's end. But, oh, there's a mana drain. Alright, so this might change the whole game now. I'm seeing Kim pulling this off now. Now, mind you, if the direct damage was done differently, Kim would have been dead by now, most likely. Because that was an extra... I saw an extra 11 points of damage in a game. That was unaccounted for, so let's see what happens. I'm expecting a big trike and something nasty to come out here, because you know if he main decks Abyss, he has a lot of artifacts in it. And you know he has Coffin, so that tells me he has Triskelions. Or a giant 4/4 flyer. But there's a counter spell. Are we going to have a flash counter? Yep, I was going to say, I knew it was in his hand. Because he tried to play it earlier, so... That's why I like flash counters. They're good for negating the very few counter spells in the format. And that 4/4 flyer, depending on what else he has going on, could be very deadly. Oh, there's an oubliette. Well, there goes that one. Now, the only thing Kim can do is if he has them, I always main deck 2 of them, but on Lucas's next end step, he has double blue. If he has Boomerang up, he could Boomerang the oubliette on Kim's end step, leaving... Or on Lucas's end step, leaving Kim with another 4/4 flyer. Is that a Brass Man? I think that's a Mr. Brass Man. I was messing around with ATOGs too, and those are one of the things I was thinking about. Again, watching these matches, it's definitely... I mean, Chaos Orb would have made these matches a lot quicker. Or a second strip mine, or both. Let's see what we got Lucas's end here. These guys are both very good players. He's got a lot of mana up. Wow. What am I looking at? Oh, Nicopolis. Is that what I'm looking at? But Abyss is out. So I'm a little confused. I mean, he could activate his... I mean, he can't. No, he can't, because it's not Drop of Honey, it's Abyss. Drop of Honey, you can activate your factory and sack your... You know, let your factory get destroyed instead of your big creature, but it's just going to go to Abyss. And Lucas is tapped out, so it's not like he has a boomerang to bounce Abyss back. There's another 4/4 flyer. Now, I'd almost rewatch this, but the amount of damage you spent just on the ATOG would have ended the game already. And I think the 2 damage that went through with the factory should have been gone. If you touch your dice and you accept the damage, you can't go back in a tournament. So I'm thinking there's 11 damage that should have been passed over on the Kim. And that's what I'm understanding, where that bolus should have been gone. So yeah, I think that was an oversight there. Technically, I don't think he has to pay for the mana, because it's already dead, but I'm not sure. Now, if I was Kim on my upkeep, I would have definitely separate those 1/1 flyers. It's a lot more damage over time because of the Maze of Ith. Now we know the Brass Man's not a threat, but yep, I would split those tokens instantly. Oh, we didn't. Okay. I would have split them up. On your upkeep, you have to split them out. So that would have been 3 1/1 flyers next turn, and that would have been damage that would have go through the maze. Unless he has an answer for the maze. Yeah, that's another one of those blue cards I have not been able to figure out what it is yet. I can't really tell the art. I think that's one. There is a card similar to that. I think it does something when an artifact goes in a graveyard. But my 2 cents also would have been definitely separate the 1/1 flyers out. Because Maze can stop a 4/4, but Maze can't stop 4 1/1s. That would have been 3 damage. That would have been, next turn would have been 3 damage to Lucas's life total. Yeah, you can't do anything now because you got the factory and you have... It's not worth doing anything with the 4/4 and a Brass Man, but... Unless Kim realizes he can separate those into 1/1 flyers, I think Lucas has more time. It looks like he doesn't have a Pyrotechnics in hand. Now this is... What am I missing? Why did that go up? 3 +1/+1 counters, but they should separate into 3 creatures. Alright, so that card must do something with counters on artifacts. But that would have been a bigger reason to separate out. I mean, a 5/5 ain't going to do you anything either. It's pointless. But at this point, Lucas would have been dead from Kim now. So they would have killed each other at this point. Lucas would have killed Kim first. That did not happen. Kim had an opportunity to kill Lucas, and that didn't happen. So let's see what happens here. But I would absolutely have separated that 2 turns ago. Because like I said, he only has 1 maze. So that would have been 3 damage just because of tokens. Yep. What am I looking at? That one he just pulled in is under the oubliette, so I'm not quite sure what's going on here. I think maybe we have some misreading going on here with the Tetravis. So basically this is how it works. So at the beginning of your upkeep, so if you draw, you already passed your upkeep, you may remove a +1/+1 counter. So you can remove 1 or any number of them to make 1/1 flying tokens. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may exile any number of tokens created with this creature. If you do, put that many +1/+1 counters on this creature. So basically you can take them on and off, but remember there's summoning sickness. But in this case, Lucas would have been far over dead. So again, he should separate those into 1/1 flyers and kill Lucas. Because the prison is only on the 1 creature now, not on multiple creatures, which would be created. But you can only separate +1/+1 counters off of Tetravis during your upkeep. Alright, well there's a trike. So if there's no answer, that's the game this time. But I'm sure he has an answer for it. Mana drain. Well, hopefully he can use the mana. Yep, still never separated. I'm not sure how that other Tetravis came out like that, but because like I said, that's only allowed on your upkeep. You can put them back on, but you cannot take them off until upkeep, according to the Oracle text. No, actually everything is during your upkeep. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may exile any number of tokens created. So you can't do anything with Tetravis on or off unless it's upkeep. No separation again. So we're just going to do, yeah. Alright, so I have to rewatch. There's the Diamond Valley. Alright, so I missed that, but the Diamond Valley's how he got the life. I couldn't see it with the glare. Yeah? My son agrees. But I would definitely, if I was either one of you guys, I would rewatch this and see how that goes. But I'm pretty sure Lucas won first. Kim had, I think, 2 or 3 opportunities to win after that. But let's see what happens in the next game. All right, we're back. But remember, guys, Tetravis is only allowed to make actions during your upkeep. All right, there's a Brass Man. I actually really like Brass Mans in the format because it's a artifact 1/3, which sounds a little ridiculous, but allows you to stop Curt Apes and a lot of early threats. There's another city damage, but we got an ATOG out. So now we can sack. We don't have to untap the Brass Man. We could sack it to the ATOG if he felt like it. That's I think, depending on what Lucas plays, that might be a short-term game, long-term loss, but we'll find out here. Unless Kim has a Bloodlust, but I feel like we would have seen one of them. Looks like he's sitting with a Remove Soul in hand. So if I was Kim, I would... Oh, now we got a Stone. Okay. There's an attack. Looks like he plans on untapping his Brass Man with the Felware Stone, I would assume. But Lucas is going to get some mana here, so we'll see what happens. Now he has 3. Is there... Oh, there's a Dib. Actually, I love when people play Dibs and Juzams and Urnums and stuff like that, because I love Spirit Links. They're so much fun. Oh boy. Okay, that's a 5/5 flyer. Or 5/5 Death Machine. But at this point, I probably, if I would have known that was in my hand, I would have sacrificed my Brass Man to do more damage earlier. Because it's not like you're going to untap him and not play Swamp King. But maybe top deck to Swamp King, I'm not sure. But we know there's no... Oh, okay, there you go. That's a good source right there. Flash Flood, Death to the Swamp King. That dip is going to do some serious damage here. I still feel like he could have... ATOG could have ate that Brass Man, because I can tell Kim needs all his mana. There's another ATOG, I'm sure. Yep. There's a swing for what? Eat your Brass Man. No? Okay. His son's reading his book here. Sorry about the noise, guys. Here's another hit with the dib. Yeah, you're not going to be able to stop that dib. Looks like we got some camera outage. Alright, camera's back online. There's the pass. I guess that's the cards in hand, maybe? I can't tell. Or maybe that's what the 20-sided is. I can't read. I'm not sure which one of the dice is cards in hand for Kim, but we know Lucas has 6 in hand at the moment. Alright. Yep, there's the pass. And I'm expecting Kim to kill Lucas very shortly here. Oh, well, that clock just got a little faster now. So there's the attack with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Game is over if we caught it. Let's see what happens. Are we going to do the 10 damage now? Nope. I still would have sacrificed that brass man, though. At least do some damage right away, because you never know. There could be a falling star or something crazy comes out, wipes your board out, and then you would have done more damage. But I would have done all the damage straight out and really made him panic with his dib. He would have been forced to answer his own dib or die. I feel like you're giving Lucas a little more freedom. Yep, see, he would have been forced to oubliette his own dib at that point. Because if you look at the dice total, it would have been 10 damage last turn. So 8 more damage. If you look at Lucas's life total, you remove 8. That leaves him at what? 5, 6, 7, 4? So that ATOG would not have been oublietted, because at 4 life, all Skim has to do is sit back and let Lucas kill himself with his dib. So my guess is the oubliette would have been forced to be used on his own dib. Now, yes, Kim would not have any artifacts left, but let's see what he draws here. There's a little extra damage with the brass man that I was talking about earlier. There's the damage, so that would have been 3 life on Lucas's end. That would have been 2 life on Lucas's end. So see, all these things would not have been going off, because his life would have been much lower if you sacrificed all those Fellware stones. That would have been 6 more damage off of the life, so we've been at 2 life right now. Oh, he didn't use his city. I thought he was tapping all his lands. Yep. There's an attack. Oh, okay, 5 cards in hand, I'm thinking. Or is that his life total? Looks like both. I'm a little confused. There we go, 4. It's a mana drain? Yeah, pyrotechnics and a mana drain. Yep, so that would have put Lucas on. Alright, so Lucas would have. Let's see here. Lucas took a damage from his city just now. So that would have put him at 1 during Lucas's next upkeep. There's the pass. So if Kim happens to find an artifact this turn, he could have won right now. Well, that'll do it. Yep. Well, good game, guys. I love these decks, and I love being able to have fun with Legends. So I hope you guys are having fun with this. If you have any suggestions on the next round, if we ever do this again, I'm sure we'll eventually do it. Let us know. But I think this is awesome, but I hope you guys have a wonderful day.